Hello children, myself Divya Sharma from Shivjyoti Education Group Kota. Today we will be studying chapter number 10, that is communication of your social studies. So take out your books, Getting Ahead in Social Studies, chapter number 10, page number 69. Now first we learn what is communication. I am talking to you, this is one of the means of communication. You talk to your friend, you are communicating. Either you talk over a phone or you are communicating face to face. These all are the mediums of communication. Advertisements, newspapers, magazines, they are all the means of communication. Now all living things communicate with each other. Even the animals also communicate with each other. They have different sounds through which they communicate with each other. But earlier what happened? Earlier the early humans being used to communicate using signs just like other animals. They did not know how to communicate, so they used different sign languages to communicate with each other. But as they got intelligence, because of their superior intelligence, they were able to develop language and then writing to communicate, which enabled them to make communication even more better. See, what is communication? The exchange of information by speaking, writing or using some other medium. It's called communication. Whether you are speaking, whether you are writing and communicating, these are all the mediums of communication. Now, while you are communicating, you share your interests, feelings, ideas, knowledge and needs. Older means of communication, as I told you, the early humans did not know how to communicate, so some of the older means of communication were, they used to have sign languages, they used to draw cave drawings by beating drums, by using smoke signals. So this is how early humans used to communicate with each other. Now, earlier messages were sent over long distances through pigeons or horses. Later the postal services made the task of sending messages much easier. Long distance communication was revolutionized by the invention of telephone in 1876. Telephone lines are also used to send written messages through fax and email. Now earlier long distance communication was done through pigeons and horses, but when the postal services came into being, it made communication even more better. Now older means of communication, these are your postcards. Earlier postcards were used for communication. You used to write the matter and then without any envelope you can send it. You did not need to put it into an envelope and send the postcard. Now communicating with individuals, that is your next topic. How you communicate with individuals, that is, we often want to communicate with our friends or relatives. Let us see how many different methods of communication we use. We communicate, individual means of communication are, we communicate through letters, we write letters to our friends or relatives. That is one of the means of individual communication. Telephones, we can talk to any person over the telephone. The telephone is the fastest and most convenient means of sending spoken messages. If you want to talk to anyone, you just make a call and then you can talk to that person. It is the most convenient means of communication. It was invented in 1876 by Alexander Graham Bell. You can underline this in your book as well. It was invented by 1876 by Alexander Graham Bell, and here you have your first internal question. Who invented telephone? The answer is given on page number 70, Alexander Graham Bell. The answer is Alexander Graham Bell. Okay, that is who invented telephone. You can mark it over here, Alexander Graham Bell. We can talk to anyone in another city in India using STD, that is subscriber trunk dialing. Now if you want to talk within India, you use STD calls, okay, that is subscriber trunk dialing facility. And to anyone in another country, if you want to speak to a person living in another country that is out of India, you use the ISD calls, that is international subscriber dialing facility. Mobile telephones or cell phones can be carried along wherever we go. Now we have mobile phones or cell phones which we can carry anywhere and make calls, and one of the important service is your short message service, that is SMS. You can also communicate through SMS. Now we learn about fax. We can send a copy of a document containing written matter, printed matter or pictures through a fax machine connected to a telephone line. The copy of the document reaches the receiver instantly. Now this is a fax machine. It is connected with a telephone line. It is the modern means of communication wherein we send a copy of the document which has written matter or pictures, anything that is connected to a telephone line, and you have the fax number, you dial it and your fax reaches to the receiver instantly. Now email. Email services are also one of the means of communication. It's an individual means of communication, but for that you need to have an internet connection. We can send a message through electronic mail or email using a computer with an internet connection. The message reaches the receiver anywhere in the world in a short time. Children, over here, SMS. Now your second question is, again it is on page number 70. What is the full form? What is the full form of SMS? The full form is short messaging service. Short messaging service. Second internal question, that is, what is the full form of SMS? So it is short messaging service. Now smartphones. Now smartphones are available. Smartphones can be used to make phone calls, share music, files and photographs, and to receive and send emails. Nowadays we use smartphones wherein we can send files, photos, share pictures. So that is also one of the important means of communication. Video calls. Video calls allow people to see each other while talking. Services such as Skype that allow us to video chat for free have become popular these days. Now video calls through, you can also nowadays do video calls because you are having smartphones. Your WhatsApp service, Instagram, Snapchat, you can do video calling. Now we are having Google Meet wherein we come in contact with you live. So there we can do video conferencing as well. Now we will talk about mass communication. What is mass communication? When an idea is communicated to many people at the same time, it is known as mass communication. When one idea which is communicated to a large number of people, to a large group of people, it is called mass communication. Like I am conveying my lecture to number of students at the same time, so this is the means of mass communication. For example, books, magazines and newspapers communicate an idea to several people at the same time. Examples are through your books, magazines, newspapers. These are the mediums which are the mediums for mass communication. They are conveying one idea or matter to number of people. They are means of mass communication, and today we know a lot about what is happening around the world. The invention of the radio, cinema and television revolutionized the mass communication, and more recently the internet has also become a powerful means of mass communication. Let us learn more about some of the means of mass communication. Nowadays internet has also become one of the powerful means of mass communication. Now we will learn about some of the mediums of mass communication. First one is printing. Since printing was invented by John Gutenberg in Germany in 1443, you can underline, printing was invented by John Gutenberg in Germany in 1443. Now, when the printed words came into being, they made the communication more easy. How? The printed word has been a powerful means of mass communication. The first printed newspapers appeared about 400 years ago in 1609 in Germany. Newspapers and magazines give us news and information from all over the world. Billions of books which give us information on all subjects are available today. Now, your printed letters, words, you can read it more clearly. So, printed words in the form of newspapers and magazines and books which came into being after printing was being invented, they made communication more easy. People could read the books and newspapers and then get to know what is happening around. Now, we will talk about radio. It was an Indian scientist, Jagdish Chandra Bose, who first showed that radio signals could be sent over a long distances without wires. The Italian scientist Guglielmo Marconi improved his work and is recognized as the inventor of the radio. Today, the radio is the cheapest method of mass communication. Now, radio is one of the cheapest method of mass communication, and we have several radio stations broadcast news, educational programs and entertainment programs from all over the world. Like in your quota, you have your FM channels running 95 FM Tarka, 94.7 Big FM. These channels which give you news, your educational information and entertainment. So, this is how radio has helped in mass communication. A number of people listen to radio, so this is one of the means of mass communication. Now, cinema, the first film was shown on a screen about 115 years ago in the year 1895. Talking films came about 25 years later. Today, cinema is an important means of entertainment. Cinema is another means of entertainment, and it is also means of mass communication, because one film number of people come to watch. So, it is one of the means of mass communication. Documentary films are used for education and giving information. Documentary films are very short films which are used for educating or giving information. Now, television. The television was invented in England by John Logie Baird in 1926, only about 80 years ago. Within this period, it has become the most popular means of mass communication. It has a great advantage of having both sight and sound. Now, television as a means of communication, you can watch also and hear to the sound also. So, it is the most popular means of mass communication. Now, people can see pictures and also hear people talk while sitting comfortably in their homes. We are sitting comfortably at our homes, and we can also listen and watch at the same time. Several television channels broadcast news, educational and entertainment programs. Important sports and cultural events are shown live on television. You have number of channels there in your number of television channels which give you which are based on news, educational programs, entertainment programs, songs. The internet. Want information on any subject? You quickly search the internet. Simply search the net. You will have so much of information that it will become difficult to select what you need. Now, for one topic, if you have to search any information, there are number of links which are given. So, it becomes quite difficult for you to select which one is better, and you can have a large amount of information related to that. The internet is a fast and efficient way of sending information around the world. It is one of the fastest and efficient means of sending information. That is why it is also called information superhighway. Internet is also called information superhighway as it is the most fastest and efficient means of sending information. Now, we learn about social networking. Social networking is a new method of communicating over the internet. This is internal question number 3. Now, your internal question number 3. Page number 72. What is social networking? What is social networking? The answer is under the heading social networking. Social networking is a new method of communicating over the internet. So, what is social networking? You will underline it over here. Social networking is a new method of communicating over the internet. You can communicate with a large group of friends on the internet using the services of social networking sites such as Facebook. Now, Facebook is one of the social networking sites wherein you can share information among a large group of people. You have another sites also, Twitter, WeChat, Instagram. These are all your social networking sites wherein you can acquaint with large group of people. Any message you give on the sites gets shared between all members of the group. You can keep your group limited to just close friends, or you can add hundreds of friends. The choice is yours. Anyone over the age of 18 can join these sites. Now we learn about satellite communications, that how satellite communications are used to communicate information. Have you ever wondered how do internet, TV and radio help in establishing the short and long distance communications? That how can we listen to the long distance radio channels and how can we watch live shows on our television? Well, what happens is satellites are sent into space which revolves around the outer surface, and then signals from these satellites are sent, which are sent to the earth, and then they revert back, and then it catches to the dish channel where you can watch your live channels, your live cricket matches and your entertainment programs. And it is because of these satellites that you can even see cricket matches which go live. And telephone and computer signals are also sent to other countries through these satellites. So, this is how satellite communication works, wherein you can have they help in communication. So, children, this was all about the chapter explanation. Now, I will come to the bookwork explanation. Question number 8. Identify the means of communication from the following clues. Copies of documents sent through this machine reach instantly, that is fax. The most popular method of sending spoken messages, telephone. You require a computer and an internet connection to send such messages, email. For email you need an internet connection. The cheapest means of mass communication is radio. The most popular means of mass communication, television, as you can watch and at the same time you can hear to the sound as well. Information superhighway, that is internet. Documentary films, cinema. Now question number B, that is write true or false for the following statements. Mass communication became possible after printing was invented. The statement is true. Email is delivered to the receiver as fast as the copy of a document sent through a fax machine. That is false. The most popular means of mass communication is the television. The statement is true. Television signals are sent to faraway places through satellites. The statement is true. The internet cannot be used for mass communication. False. Now, I will discuss multiple choice questions. Which of these is a method of mass communication? The answer is radio. Which of these is known as the information superhighway? Answer is internet. Who invented printing? John Gutenberg. Which of these is used both for individual communication as well as for mass communication? The answer is internet. Now I will be discussing copy work with you all. The first is define communication, exchange of information between people. As I told you, exchange of ideas or information between people is called communication. Question number 1, how did early humans communicate with each other? Early humans used signs to communicate with each other. They used sign language to communicate with each other. They used to draw cave drawings by using smoke and also by beating drums. What made it possible for humans to become better communicators than animals? The superior intelligence of the humans helped them to develop language and writing, which made them better communicators than animals. Now earlier we learned that early humans did not know how to communicate, but slowly due to their superior intelligence they were able to develop language and writing, which made communication even more better. What is mass communication? Mass communication is an idea of communicating with a large number of people at the same time. When you are communicating any idea or information at once between a large number of group, that is called mass communication. List 3 means by which you can send a written message to another person. Letters, email and mobile phones are the means by which we can send a written message to another person. Next question is, name 4 means of mass communication. 4 means of mass communication are as follows: newspaper, television, internet and radio. Question number 6, why is television the most popular means of mass communication? On a television we can see the pictures as well as hear the sound while sitting at home. So television is more popular means of mass communication. At the same time you can see the pictures as well as hear the sound. So it is one of the most important means of mass communication. Question 7, why is the internet called the information superhighway? Internet is called the information superhighway because the internet is a fast and efficient way of sending information around the world. As it is one of the fastest and most efficient way of sending information all around the world, so it is called the information superhighway. Question number 8, how did satellites improve communication? Sending radio and television signals around the world was a problem. Satellites sent into outer space by rockets have made it possible to send television, telephone and computer signals efficiently around the world. Now earlier to send radio and television signals was a problem, but due to satellites which are sent to outer space by rockets, they have made it possible to send the television, telephones and the computer signals efficiently around the world. This was all about your copy work, children. Do the book work and copy work very neatly. Thank you.